What's going on, guys? My name is ATF Cobra, and I don't usually post these, but this is a full gameplay that I hope you guys enjoy watching. But anyways, let's get to the interesting topic at hand. Is Battlefield 3 the greatest game of all time? Or the real question is, what makes a really great game like COD 4? I know a lot of people still think and say that Call of Duty 4 is the greatest game of all time. It's the best COD. It's the best, first-person shooter. And true as that is, when you look at it, there are so many shooters on this market. You can't just label one as the best. There's got to be some other game that competes with the other ones. That just, there's no just one perfect game. Every game has its flaws. Every game has its good and bad. And I'd have to admit, Call of Duty 4, when I first started playing it, it was fun as shit. I mean, long hours, long nights. I was supposed to be asleep, to wake up and go to school in the morning, and I was just playing that game. But what makes a great game? What is a great game? What, in your guys' opinion, is a great game? I think Call of Duty 4 was definitely a great game, but there is a new game now that I think really surpasses just every other shooter and everything that it does right now. And honestly, it has to be Battlefield 3. When you look at this game, of how well balanced it is, the weapons, the vehicles, how everything is put together and structured, along with the maps, and it's so damn difficult to put all this stuff together, to please everybody, and to make a game where everybody is just satisfied with. And I think this is one of those games, like Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4 had its problems. There's a lot of things that bugged people and people didn't like, but yet we still called it the greatest game of all time because it gave us, the most enjoyment. And how did it do that? Basically, by just giving us gun-on-gun gameplay, just giving us a game without bull. And basically what I mean is, yes, we had kill streaks in Call of Duty 4, and we had no vehicles. It was just mostly infantry. So straightforward. You navigated the maps. You worked, even though there wasn't too much of teamwork, but you did try to work as a team and not get slaughtered. And it was still a very fun game. And I can compare it. Honestly, you can't really compare the two games. You can't compare Battlefield versus COD because they're two different games. One's infantry, vehicle, and large map based, and the other's arcade. That's, as they say. I mean, I would still, if you can't really put them together. And Battlefield feels almost like a sim. It's not full sim. You got the freaking vehicles that you have. You have infantry. You work in squads. Suppression effect. You have a lot of things that make this game feel very realistic, like a simulation. And the destruction, of course. I'm forgetting a lot of things in this game that make it really great and different from COD. But at the same time, I would label this as the best game, or one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. Still to this day, I still play Battlefield 3. I still love this game. There's a lot of things that probably bothers some people, but they still play the game. They still love the game, like Call of Duty 4. And that's how things is. You gotta take everything as is. If a game is really great and you're playing it and you're loving it, and then one person starts talking about all the negatives and all the wrong stuff that it has, you're gonna start to focus on that yourself, and then you're gonna start to think maybe this isn't the greatest game. But if you look at all the positives and all the things that were done right in Battlefield 3, you'll start to notice that this game is definitely on the list for being the greatest of all time, or best made, and best well kept too. Just the patches that they released to fix things, they listen to their community. I mean, DICE listened to the community and fixes things, like the AC-130. I hated the AC-130 in Rush, on the new Armor Kill map pack, but they listened to us, and they got they fixed it within a certain amount of time, so we didn't really have to deal with it for too long. And that's what makes great games. Great developers make great games, and I wish DICE would focus more heavy on getting their game fixed, and listening to most people that made sense, not listening to just the random bullcrap that sounded like it was a problem, because that's a lot of times people do that. They'll focus on something that's really not that serious, and they'll blow it up, and then everybody else will start complaining about it, and they want it removed. But that's not how things should definitely be. But looking at this game now, I almost a year later. Actually, that year's just about coming up, but it feels like this can be, and this is the best game out there right now that you can buy. Honestly, in my opinion, I mean, if you're coming from different games, of course you're going to have to make that adjustment. Of course you're going to have to, switch the way you play, switch the way you, react, and you know, there's a lot of things you gotta do to adjust to this game. But nonetheless, if you you know, can compare it to anything else, even though there's nothing really else on the market that's, you know, like Battlefield, you know, retail wise, I mean, on all consoles like Xbox 360 and you know, PS3, retail wise, I mean, you can't really put a finger on anything else that's really pretty much like Battlefield right now. I mean, if you did, I think still Battlefield would be better than it. And if you can compare, if you put the same games side by side and you know, have them with the same game modes, like if you made smaller maps and made everything infantry based mostly, like team deathmatch when you're playing Battlefield 3, and you try to compare that to Call of Duty 4, it would work, and I would still pick Battlefield 3 over, you know, Call of Duty 4. Not to say that I hate the game. I love Call of Duty. I grew up playing Call of Duty. That's all I played. I was a Call of Duty player. You know, even on PC, I was even playing Medal of Honor. So my roots are from Call of Duty. Just making that adjustment, you know, I made a very big adjustment to Battlefield, and that's, you know, something that might not be too easy for other players. That's why a lot of people still play that game. But nonetheless, if you would have to compare, or if you put them side by side and put them in the same room and try to, you know, make them the same, which, you know, kind of sounds weird to say, but definitely I'll take Battlefield 3 over it any day. And just you know, the beauty in this game. I mean, sometimes just looking at this game and just running down corridors and blowing stuff up, you know, sometimes we don't think about it, but in other games it's not there. And sometimes I really do appreciate the things that we do have in these games. And I'm really I really want to say that this has to be the greatest game of our time. I mean, where are your arguments, guys? I mean, if you think there's another game out there that's really, you know, that much better right now and that can, you know, probably beat this game, then be sure to leave it in the comments below. This video is just about wrapping up, but I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. I don't know why I wanted to talk about this, but it was on my mind. I was working out earlier today, so it was on my mind. I wanted to talk to you guys about it in a video. But you know, if you can compare a game to Call of Duty as one of the greats, at Battlefield 3 is definitely it. You know, compared to Call of Duty 4, I have to say Battlefield 3 is the best. If you only played team deathmatch and played infantry game modes only, and try to get that Call of Duty feel in Battlefield 3, you still will get it. You know, there's a lot of maps and game modes that you can play and still get that feel of infantry, fast-paced shooting when you know, than you would in Call of Duty. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and leave your comments below. Peace, guys.